Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the channel. So today I'm going to show you how this middle-aged non-tech guy is able to take technology and combine it with model railroading to take my modeling to the next level. That's coming up. Okay guys, so I have an Ender 3 FDM printer, and what it basically does is it takes a spool of filament, which is basically plastic, runs it through an extruder, and then it uses that to print layers to build a 3D object. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to close out of that, I'm going to close out of this, and I can get files off of Thingiverse. Here we go. I'm just going to put in HO scale, and we'll see what pops up here. So there's a ton of files in here. And these are STL files. Here's a bumper. So we'll pull this up. So you can open it, and then here's what it would look like without any paint if you used a blue filament. Here's a couple that with some white filament. But this is kind of showing you what the product would look like. And then if you come down, you can click here on the files, and it's going to show you it's an STL file. That's what I have to use for printing this stuff. Again, this is all new to me. I'm an old guy. I'm not a tech guy, but this is how I do it. So what I can do is I can download these files, and I put them into, let me close out of here. What I've done is I've made a folder on my desktop, STL files for my railroad. So I've got a bunch of them in here. I'll just open this up real quick. There's some files for a lumber car, for a dumpster, Jersey barriers, all kinds of different stuff that I found. So what you need is a slicer program to get the files, get the computer to talk to the 3D printer. Okay guys, so now that I have my Cura program open, I'm going to hit this folder icon. I'm going to click on that, and it already has my STL files for railroad folder open. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scroll down here, and we are going to grab, let's do these barrels. So I'm just going to double click on the barrel, and there it is. It's already scaled. A lot of the files that I got have already been scaled, so that's pretty nice. And then if you over here, once you click on the item, you can click on all these different icons over here, this kind of toolbar, and I can move it around on the bed where it would print. I can right click and I get some more options. I can make multiples, so we could make 2 or 3 of them. See, there you go. But anyways, just to show you kind of how easy this is, once you get your file on here, you click this slice button, and it's going to go through and cut these things because it's going to print them in layers like a sheet of paper. So I can preview it. Check this out. So if I come over here, it's going to take 85 layers to make these barrels. But if I click on this, I can show you each layer as I drag up and down the barrels here. Pretty cool, right? Some things are super, going to take a super long time. These barrels going to take about 30 minutes. So what I do then is I have a little SD card. I would save that to the disk, and then that's it. And I can close out of here. Then I take that SD card and I plug it into the 3D printer. It's that simple. All right, guys, so this is the Ender 3 FDM 3D printer that I have set up here. It's pretty basic. This is the filament that it uses, and it pulls it. It comes on a spool, and it feeds it down through here, and there's a nozzle in here that it extrudes out on the bed. This is called the bed. This is the display. This is kind of the brains of it, the control panel. There's a little SD card that fits right underneath here that I load the files for whatever it is I want to print onto using my computer, and I pull those files off of Thingiverse and plug them in here. I go through the prompts on the display. There's all kinds of YouTube channels with help on how to use this thing. I've watched lots of videos, and they give me the confidence to do this because this is completely out of my realm. But if I zoom in here, you can see that I'm printing another batch of pallets for the layout. And these are going to be stacked. I think they're about 4 or 5 pallets high. And you can see that I'm printing, I don't know, there must be about 8 stacks going to be coming out of this print. This will take a few hours for it to print. But once I get the file put together and put into the printer, I can get this started. I watch it for the first few minutes to make sure everything's going smooth, and then I can walk away. I'll come back when it's done, pop them loose, clean them up, and then I'm off to the next print. So here's a couple pieces of jersey barrier that I printed out earlier in the week. The one on the right is the filament from the printer. The one on the left, I cleaned up a little bit and got a coat of primer on it. Here's a couple more sections of jersey barrier, just with some primer on them. They still need cleaned up a little bit more, but you can see where I'm going with this. All these little detail things, you can really take that modeling to the next level. So here's a good look at some of the stuff that's just been primed. Again, this is not finished painted or weathered or anything. This is just a coat of primer, but you can see the jersey barrier, the end caps for the jersey barrier. I mean, you could stage all kinds of scenes and help really detail things out. There's some barrels. The sky's the limit with these files. Let me show you some other stuff that I've worked a little more on. So here's the first batch of pallets that I did. They printed out fairly good, I guess. I like them. I'm going to use them. So I painted them a light tan color and then used some burnt umber with using the wet on wet technique. And then I hit them with a coat of India ink and then just hit them with a matte coat of clear when I was all done to kind of seal everything up. These are going to look great on the layout, and I can use them all over the place. I can use them in yards. I'm going to throw a few stacks of these at the fertilizer facility just to add some more detail in there. I'll probably also throw a few of the jersey barriers in there as well to protect the fuel tanks that are on that part of the layout. Okay guys, so I'm back out in the layout room and we're looking at the Simplot fertilizer facility that we built a few videos back, and you can see I staged a couple pieces of that jersey barrier along this fill station. I got a stack of pallets there, a couple there, one here, several along this fence line. You can see the potential with all these detail pieces that we can print, and we can print as many of them as we want to fill up a scene. I see the potential in having this 3D printer, and I'm glad that I purchased one. I think it's going to help really take the layout to the next level. I'm going to get back in there and check on those pallets that I'm printing right now. But if you guys like this kind of stuff, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow along as we continue building on the layout. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, happy railroading.